Hello everyone, my name is Minh An and I'm going to talk about thermal pollution, which is one of the current issues. Before I get to the guest, let me show you a quote from Indian prophecy. That quote is, "Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten." I know that most of us consider that these are unreal things and never happen in this world. We humans only act and do as if we are the ones who are going to save the earth. Nevertheless, our planet, which is the earth, starts being in a dead world as the Indians prophecy because of humans' activities which lead to worldwide issues. One of the recent problems is thermal pollution, which is what I am going to talk about. Therefore, in this presentation, I would like to mention four main ideas, which are its definition, the causes, the harmful effects of thermal pollution, and finally, the solutions. So, let's go to the first part, which is, what is it? Thermal pollution can be simply defined as the change of temperature. For instance, it is a rise or fall of temperature in the rivers or atmosphere. However, these things are extremely unusual because they are all the rapid changes. In the second part, we will figure out the causes of thermal pollution. As I have just said, human activities can make a contribution to pollution. Evidently, our activities are the causes of thermal pollution. Moreover, there is still one more cause, which comes from nature. The commonly natural causes of volcanic eruptions and wildfires, which can lead to an increase in carbon dioxide. What about the human activities? The reasons that come from us, which are deforestation, using plastic bags, and of course, burning fossil fuels. It is worth that these are the reasons that all start from human root. Why do I say in such an unusual way? Certainly, we usually hear the elders discuss the economy or politics, and sometimes we can rarely hear that they discuss environmental pollution. Due to this reason, we can see that the majority of us only take care of the fairy tales or the things that can lead to the wealth of each person. In this case, I only want to mention our indifference to Mother Nature. Consequently, we ourselves just cut down the trees, burn fossil fuels, or use plastic bags as much as we can in order to make money and sink deeply into prosperity. To repeat, human root is the origin of every pollution, such as thermal pollution. After the second part, let's take a look at the third part, which is the harmful effects of thermal pollution. The volcanic eruptions or deforestation all lead to the increase in carbon dioxide, which is the reason why global warming happens. What is global warming? It is the rise of temperature in the atmosphere. As an example, on New Year's Eve in the United Kingdom, which was a few days ago, the officials announced that the temperature reached 16.2 degrees Celsius, which was higher than the last highest record in 1916 by 0.6 degrees Celsius, according to BBC News. For this reason, we can see that the temperature gets high as the years roll on. Global warming is also the material of the environmental cycle. In this cycle, we can see clearly that the pollution can lead to an increase in carbon dioxide, which is the reason why climate change exists. Climate change leads to global warming, which is the origin of some types of pollution. It does ring true that this cycle is endless. The man who is the picture is Charles Killing. In 1958, he was a person who measured the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. Surprisingly, his measurement showed that there is annually more carbon dioxide. To support his statement, let me show you a statistic about carbon dioxide emissions. In this statistic, you can see that the number of carbon dioxide is higher and higher than in the latest year. In the 1950s, the amount of carbon dioxide was approximately around 7 or 8 billion tons, but in the last year, it had been already 38 billion tons. How rapid the increase in carbon dioxide is. In the next picture, which is about the change in annual temperature, we can see that every place in this world gets warmer. We only notice that all of the places on the earth are warm between 0.2 to 1.8 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the IPCC also stated that in the 21st century, this world will be warmer by 1.6 to 4 degrees Celsius. When the earth gets warmer, there are plenty of harmful effects such as heat waves. During the month of August in 2003 in France, there was uncommon hot weather for a long duration that the temperature during the night did fall below 25 degrees Celsius. Consequently, many people needed to die in these heat waves. If there was a heat wave like this one, it would be no doubt that many of us would die. Apart from heat waves, forest fires are also the horrendous consequences of global warming. When we cut down a lot of trees and let the atmosphere get warm, there will be plenty of forest fires, according to many scientists. Besides the two above results, melting ice is one of the most harmful consequences. On account of global warming, the ice is melting. The number of polar bears has gone from 32,000 to 25,000 in just a few years because they lose their habitats. On the other hand, melting ice results in the rise of the sea surface. The IPCC also affirmed that the sea level will rise by 23 to 43 centimeters in this century. This statement leads to the fourth result, which is floods. Floods are not only caused by deforestation but also result from the rise of the sea surface. As the sea level rises, many islands need to be battered by water. For instance, in 2006, an island which is known as Lohajara went under the sea. Indeed, we will be able to live in the water rises if we keep letting the sea level rise. If we have already known that there are countless consequences of a change of temperature, what will we do in order to save the world? So, let's go to the last part, which is the solutions. I know that many people just say that we need to stop cutting the trees, whereas other people agree that we ought to stop burning fossil fuels. These solutions are really common, but why do the issues just get worse? For instance, the hectares of the private forest laws in the Democratic Republic of Congo were quite low in the 20s. Paradoxically, this figure has been higher in recent years. Likewise, the square kilometers of Amazon deforestation slowly faded from 2011 to 2016, but gets high again in 2021. What is a suitable solution? I personally believe that the change of behaviors is a good way. As I have said in the first part, the main reason for thermal pollution comes from humans. Thus, we ought to correct the mistakes from where they started. One person with good behaviors can lead to 10 good people. They can spread their good behaviors and create one society which causes a good country. When we can create a good country, apparently, we can live in a world in which everyone is a good person. In addition to what I have just said, changing ourselves is the only thing that we can do the best. That is why we need to change our behaviors and mindset before starting working on some macro activities. In the next picture, I would like to show you the countries with the highest rate of thermal pollution. Those countries are the United States, France, China that account for 26%, 12%, and 16% respectively. Alternatively, what is the country that is fresh and has the least pollution? Absolutely. Sweden is known as a paradise with the overall score of pollution is only 2.810. However, there are many South African countries where 85% of citizens only live on less than $5.50 per day. How can they take care of the environment like Sweden, which is a highly developed country? How can the Africans mind about the environment when death is the thing that most of them need to cope with day in, day out? The answer is the balance. Some countries that are developed should take care of the environment, whereas the South African countries are to boost the economy and rise for the citizens who always need to live as in a slum. These are only my own opinions. Thank you for your listening.